Hey, welcome to the channel. I got crazy good news for you guys today. Polestar just reported their Q3 of 2022 and they did just amazingly. It's the first time that they actually made a gross profit. So we're going to look into that today and see what exactly happened. If you already watched my previous videos and if you're subscribed to the channel, you do know that I'm super bullish on Polestar. I think after Tesla and NIO, Polestar is probably the best EV company out there. And finally, my predictions have come true. I talked about it in many videos. Have a look on the channel. I talked a lot about Polestar, and every time I mentioned Polestar will be one of the big winners in the EV race. And at the moment, how everything developed, it actually looks like that's really gonna happen now. With that said, let's jump over into the company and see what exactly happened. So Polestar at the moment is focusing on their Polestar 2. It's their flagship model, and that's a car that they're really, putting all their efforts in at the moment. It costs around 50,000 US dollars, so it's not a very cheap model. It's a little bit more upscale, but the performance is fantastic. It has almost 500 horsepower and goes for almost 300 miles. So definitely a good car here. Together with the earnings, they have now also introduced the Polestar 3. It's their new SUV. They mentioned that the production will be starting in the US for that car soon. Also here, fantastic performance. Again, it's a bit expensive. It costs around 80,000 US dollars, so definitely, a little bit more upscale. But also here, if we look at the car, it's just absolutely beautiful, right? Very good performance, 300 miles of range and a charge time of 30 minutes, which is unbelievable nice. And again, over 500 horsepower here also. So really nice performance. They have fantastic cars, good charging time, good range. Of course, that performance is reflected also on the business level. So they did perform really good in the last year. And let's have a little bit of a deep dive into that. Jumping into the highlights, we can see that they've revealed their Polestar 3, which we just talked about, right? They said also that they got huge demand on the website after they revealed it. So that's definitely good. There is demand for those cars. I do enjoy to see that. We also see that they are approaching a production milestone with 100,000 Polestar 2 vehicles produced. So 100,000 is really a good number here. And we can see that by end of this year, they're again expecting to produce roughly 50,000 cars. So Polestar 2s in that case. So far, they have delivered 30,000 cars by the end of the September, so year to date. They also say that they have achieved a revenue of almost 1.5 billion and they expect that to rise to 2.4 billion for the whole year of 2022. From my point of view, I think Polestar has been so successful because of the cooperations that they're running with other companies together. So we see here Polestar right on the top, and then they have a very close cooperation with Volvo together. They actually spun off from Volvo, right? They kind of belonged to Volvo previously, but they're still having that really close cooperation for, as example, supply chains, manufacturing knowledge, and so on. So Volvo is really supporting them, and they have the cooperation with Geely, which is a Chinese car manufacturer, which helps them to get into the Chinese market, help them with supply chain in China, production in China, and so on. Polestar is really set up for success with those two corporations. Volvo kind of from Europe and American side, and Geely from the Chinese side. And I think that is kind of the key point to where the success comes from here from Polestar, besides of course them having just fantastic cars. Jumping over into the financials, we can see that on a revenue side, they made this quarter 435 million compared to last year, the same quarter, of 213 million. So that's an increase of 105%. Incredible growth, really good. They doubled their revenue, and at the same time, of course, they have increased their cost of sales, but we see only by 74%. So proportionately, the revenue is growing much faster than their cost of sales. And that's exactly what we want to see. That is the goal to profitability, right? And that's exactly what we talked yesterday with Rivian that is missing. And Polestar here is just the best example now of how to do it correctly. And we see that due to that, we got actually our first gross profit of 4 million US dollars. Obviously, that is really small, 4 million. It's nothing, but the path to profitability is there. And that's what I want to see. And that's why I think Polestar is so amazing. Obviously, on a net basis, we are still losing money, right? That's clear. But at least on a gross profit basis, we are starting to get profitable. And I think that from here onwards, we won't see negative gross profits anymore. And slowly, from a positive gross profit, we will actually start to see net profits also starting to get positive. And of course, due to those really good news, Polestar popped, 20% yesterday on Friday. And it's not a surprise. I think this company is really undervalued actually at the moment. They're at a market cap of around 11 or 12 billion US dollars after that 20% pop that they had. So it's really cheap. If you compare it with Rivian as example, Rivian is selling, a quarter of the cars, and it has a much higher valuation than Polestar. So for me personally, I think Polestar is in the top 3 EV companies at the moment. There is Tesla, there is NIO in China, and then there's Polestar. I think those are the definite 3 winners that we're going to see. And so far, the numbers prove that theory that I had a long time ago. So I'm super happy to see it, but I'm not surprised. And I just think it's fantastic to see that Polestar is performing that good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's it for me for today already. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.